1-year anniversary of our government, so congrats to the whole team here and everybody who works behind the scenes with us as well. I wanted to start with an important message that I shared on election night last year. Happy birthday, Mom. 1 year ago today, Manitobans did something important. Little Manitoba, we did something that they'd never done in some of the big cities in other parts of the country. And that is that we came together to reject the forces of division and to say that we want a positive path forward for our province. And I hope, for the sake of the country, that the rest of Canada is going to be able to take the same path as Manitoba has over the past year. Because I think people are sick and tired of being divided, and people are hungry for a message of unity. This past year, I've had the awesome privilege of leading your provincial government here in Manitoba. And during that time, I have seen the best of Manitobans. I had the honor of standing on the beaches of Normandy with our veterans who, as young people, liberated France and Europe from Nazi tyranny. I had the ability to stand at the doors of a school with students and educators as they launched a province-wide school food program to ensure that no child in Manitoba has to attend school hungry. And I listened to the courageous voices of the family members of murder victims who stood up, demanded justice, received a favorable outcome in the courts, and then marched over to the legislature to work with us to search the Prairie Green landfill. At the same time, I've seen the challenges and the trials and tribulations that we as Manitobans have to live through. I heard the sadness and the pain of the people in Carman who lived through terrible violence and an unspeakable tragedy. I visited with people in northern Manitoba who were evacuated from their homes as a result of wildfires, not knowing if or when they'd ever be able to return. And of course, I've traveled to hospitals and mental health facilities with our health minister right across Manitoba to hear directly from those on the front lines about what we have to do to deliver on our #1 election commitment, which is to fix healthcare. And so, truth be told, all of it has been a humbling experience. It's been a gratifying experience, a difficult experience, but truth be told, it has been an awesome experience this past year.
Here, here.
And yeah, I changed a car tire too. And so a year ago, we ran a positive campaign that was focused on you, the people of Manitoba. And after so many years of division and people being turned off by politics, I know that expectations were high. It's so easy to be cynical these days. But we are committed to improving life for all Manitobans, to fixing healthcare, to making life more affordable, to showing a path to a future in Manitoba where every young person here can succeed and reach their full potential. Now, 1 year ago, tonight, on election night, I said that the government can't take the first step for you. You have to take that on yourself. So you have to want it for yourself. However, what I think we've been able to deliver on this year is the second half of that statement, which is that if you take the first step, then our government will be there to meet you and to ensure that you get all the support that you need on your path to living a good life. So this team around you, this is the team that has ensured that when a child shows up on the steps of a school, that they're going to get the food that they need so that they can spend the rest of the day learning. This is the team that ensures that our healthcare facilities are, for the first time in years, welcoming net new people working at the front lines, delivering better healthcare for patients. And this is the team that is out here in communities like this one right across Manitoba, saying to our relatives in the streets, we have a path to housing, a path to recovery, a path to healing, and a path to working and living that positive life that you dream of for yourself. And so let's work together. And so I'm reflecting today on where we were a year ago before the ballots were counted. And it was at a difficult time for our province. Manitobans were divided at that time. Divided by politicians who thought it was okay to use the families of murder victims as political props. And divided by politicians who thought that it was a good idea to use children in our schools as a political wedge issue. And when we were designing our election strategy last year, we knew what Heather Stephenson and the PCs were going to do in the campaign. And we had a choice: go down into the gutter and litigate that kind of wedge issue, nasty campaign, or we could do what we chose to do, which was to put a bet on you, the good people of Manitoba. We bet that Manitobans were sick and tired of division and wedge politics and nastiness in your legislature. And we instead chose to focus on healthcare, on affordability, on a message of bringing Manitobans together from all walks of life. And the thing that I'm most proud of from Election Day 1 year ago is that you proved us right. You proved the thing that each and every one of us in this province have known all along, and that is that Manitobans are good people. Friendly Manitobans. And so here we are a year in, tons more work to do. But what we've done so far, we've staffed up our healthcare system. 873 more people working on the front lines today. We've cut the provincial gas tax to make your life more affordable and to bring inflation down in this province. And we're feeding hungry kids. I think everybody in Manitoba can be proud of that. But what I'm most excited about is the prospect of what we can do from here on in. To build a province that leads Canada in creating opportunity for people. 1 year ago today, Manitobans showed the rest of Canada that our province is a leader. And now we've been given the awesome task of being able to ensure that we're going to be an economic leader, a health system leader, a leader when it comes to educational attainment, and yes, a leader on listening to the voices of survivors and ensuring that this country lives up to the phrase that every child matters. And so we relish this day not as an accomplishment that our team or any one of us can claim credit on, but instead with the great humility that comes with recognizing the enormous task that we have been asked to fulfill. And how else can you respond to being asked to do such an amazing job other than with a humble attitude and the commitment that we are going to be there each and every day working just as hard as we can to make Manitoba a better place for you, for your kids, and for our grandkids. So thank you to the people of Manitoba. Thank you for trusting us to lead your provincial government. And now at the 1 year mark, we're asking for your help to continue working together. Notre province a un patrimoine bilingue. C'est toujours important en tant que Premier ministre de partager un message à tout le monde dans notre province, incluant la francophonie. Dans cette première année, nous vous remercions pour votre appui et puis nous partageons un message d'espoir et un message que nous avons accompli beaucoup dans le système de santé, dans l'économie, mais il y a toujours beaucoup de plus à faire. Alors, nous vous demandons la chance de continuer ce bon travail et de créer un Manitoba qui est un vrai leader tout partout dans le Canada. Merci beaucoup. Bravo. Bravo. All right.
You made limited progress on some of the big issues.
That's not what I read in the Free Press. I read we're making great progress, cutting the gas tax, hiring healthcare, free birth control across Manitoba, the school system, more teachers, kids being fed. Those are all big issues. Healthcare, more staff, education system, more than 600 new educators, school meal program. The PC said it was a bad idea. Instead, we're hearing from inner city educators. Kids are showing up for class who never shown up before. That's huge progress. Reproductive freedom, big issue as well. And ensuring that birth control is free, major progress. So whether it's healthcare, education, ensuring that the economy moves forward with that cut to the provincial gas tax, being there to stand up for reproductive freedom. We've done a lot this first year. There's a lot more to do.
Do you believe then, healthcare, wait times are in many cases longer now than they were a year ago. Do you think that's major progress then?
We've made major progress in healthcare by, for the first time in years, hiring more people, net, in the healthcare system. Everyone knows that retention is a huge priority, and that's why we're sharing the net numbers. We are retaining staff, and we're hiring over and above that. When we went to the doors last year in the provincial election campaign, we talked about healthcare every single day. And Manitobans knew that this project was going to take years for us to fix. And that's why when we made our commitments on healthcare, we said it was a 4-year plan. In some cases, an 8-year plan. What can we do in 4 years? We can open a new emergency room at the Victoria Hospital. 8 years from now, there'll be a new emergency room at Seven Oaks and Concordia. Those are the commitments that we made to you. In order to be able to deliver on those, we can't do the Heather Stephenson approach of breaking the budget in election year and putting out a press release trying to claim credit. Instead, what we have to do is the difficult work that only this team in last year's election showed ourselves capable of rising to the task of delivering on, which is to show up each and every day and do the difficult, grinding work of recruiting, retaining, finding staff, improving culture, being able to deliver systems change, not by decree, but rather by investing time to build consensus and to win consent. And that's exactly what we've been doing. And so here, a year in, I want to reaffirm the message that it is going to take us years to fix the damage that Heather Stephenson caused to our healthcare system. But we are making progress, and we're going to continue that progress over years 2, years 3, years 4. And then, of course, it's our hope that we'll be able to return to you in time for the next election and say, we've made a lot of progress on our key commitments, and we're asking for your support once again. Not to give too much away about our re-election campaign.
Do you think the Manitobans waiting years for surgeries that seal the crime in downtown Winnipeg, the homelessness, do you think they would believe as well that you have made major progress on those files?
We've housed 1,100 Manitobans, households, I would say, actually, meaning that not everybody that we've housed is a single adult. We're talking about kids we've gotten off the street who are living in bus shelters. Heather Stephenson, Brian Pallister, they would drive by the bus shacks and say that that's okay. We've taken a different approach. Again, because there was no social housing built for the past 2 terms in government, we're playing catch up here, and we cannot move as fast as I would like. It's the same thing with getting you the surgery that's needed. It's the same thing with tackling the social issues that are the root causes of some of the crimes we see in our communities. The change that we seek will not happen overnight. But that's why we choose to focus on a message of hope and unity, because in order to sustain the long-term effort to move the ball forward on public safety and healthcare and building the economy of tomorrow, we have to affix ourselves to an inspiring North Star to chart the course towards. Our team has articulated that vision in healthcare. We want to see more kids in Manitoba see their 18th birthday. So that's why we've made investments like doubling the prenatal benefit and ensuring that more people can get access to primary care. We are making progress, and we are going to continue sharing a message of bringing people together, because we know that the way that Manitobans over the past 150 plus years in this province have ever done something difficult was by doing it together.
I was going to say, 65% of Winnipeggers is on the same topic. Do you think that Winnipeg is worse off now than it was before? You're the premier of the province, but Winnipeg is the largest center. How do you jive with that reality with your saying things are getting better, right?
Well, everyone who's commented on our retail theft initiative has said that it's moved the needle in terms of public safety. And the Manitobans and Winnipeggers that I've been talking to have been saying, what a breath of fresh air that we have a mayor and premier who can talk to one another and work on common cause to help the people of the city. And again, I wish I could flip a switch and solve all the world's problems at once, wave that magic wand. But I think we all know that that's not the nature of the world we live in. Instead, the way that you deliver progress is through continued improvement, continued daily commitment to being a little bit better than we were yesterday. And I'm so proud to work with this team because each and every one of them inhabits those virtuous traits.
Premier, why did you change your mind and decide yesterday to apologize to Jerry Beam?
Because it was the right thing to do.
What made you decide it was the right thing to do yesterday when it wasn't the day before?
Because I had time to think about it.
And just a question about the housing, Canada housing benefit.
Yeah.
Why didn't the province act sooner to reinstate it? It was oversubscribed and underfunded, and I understand that you would want to invest in more public housing, not providing more supplements for people to pay private landlords. But it was something that seemed to be working and working too well, in fact. So what took so long for the announcement to come that it was going to be funded some more and reinstated?
The plan for us to end chronic homelessness over the next 7 years in Manitoba is to go tent to tent, bridge to bridge, encampment to encampment, and to say to people, we have housing for you. And now we'd like to talk to you about addiction supports if you need them, mental health supports if you need those, and a path towards living with dignity and to having a positive life, the same that everybody in this province deserves. And that's what we are acting upon. The challenge that we have is that we can't build social housing overnight. For 2 terms in government, not only was there not any social housing built, but we actively lost social housing units. And so as we play catch up, we are turning to programs like the Manitoba Housing, Canada Manitoba Housing Benefit, and a suite of other measures. We're taking a comprehensive approach. But I want to say to the person out there on the street that if you want a path towards dignity that we all deserve, then come see us. We will find you the housing. We will find you the addictions treatment. We will find you the mental health services. We will move heaven and earth to help you improve your lives. So come see us. Tell them that I sent you. That is the plan. The specific housing benefit that we're talking about here, it was designed by the PCs, it was funded by the federal Liberals. This is not our plan, but we're doing what we can to keep helping people within that rubric. But again, the real plan is social housing. Everyone understands that the market is not going to be the first step on the housing ladder for people getting off of the street. The government has to fulfill that role. The previous government derelicted that duty. And now we're restoring that public service. And so it will take time, but the reality is we've already moved 1,100 households off of the street in 1 year in government. That is progress.
So when anybody qualifies for the Canada Manitoba Housing Benefit now receive it, is that the offer or the promise?
Well, we've sketched out an additional $1.7 million in investment, which is a mix of both addressing the people who are currently in the queue, if you will, as well as what we forecast to be the anticipated demand through the rest of the fiscal year. And so, again, we're getting into technical details, but the reality is this. If you want to get off the street, we're going to find a way to help.
Premier, throughout your time here in office saying that you want to make sure in Manitoba that everyone knows every child matters. We've seen a lot of push from the government, including a statutory holiday for Orange Day, church land bill honoring Louis Riel as the first premier of Manitoba. I'm wondering why it's so important to your government and how you think this first year has made Indigenous people here in Manitoba feel. And I'm also wondering, going forward, is there any big plans or how do you continue piggybacking off what you've done to make sure that everyone continues feeling seen?
I think I just listen to the kids. I find if you can explain something to a child in elementary school, then you probably have a clear idea of what you're doing. And when I visit the classrooms today, and I see the orange shirts all over the walls decorated with images of kids who say, yeah, we should also help the homeless, and yeah, my grandma should be able to get a surgery when she needs it. You know, those are the voices that I want to listen to. And so whether it's on reconciliation or any of the other topics that we're focused on as a provincial government, I think we're just going to try and create that Manitoba we can all be proud of, so that when the next generation takes over, that they'll be able to hit the ground running and build that bright future for all of us.
Just in the last 20 minutes, Premier, Clarence Woodhouse, 24 Indigenous men found guilty in the 1970s of killing a restaurant worker, have been exonerated. The judge saying, and I quote, "You were wrongfully convicted, you were innocent." He also called it miscarriage of justice. How do you respond?
I think the judge has said some important words there. I'm hearing them for the first time. It's super sad when you hear about somebody's freedom being taken away from them, and you hear about the justice system that is supposed to be there to keep people safe, facing a challenging moment like this. And for all of us as a society, we got to do right by this person, and we will be there. I can tell you that the provincial government has already taken steps to ensure that we offer some form of redress. We'll never be able to give back the past that was robbed of this person and, you know, the others in a similar situation. But given what we know now, we can take steps to do right. And I think we will have more to say about this later in the day, the Attorney General in particular. Yeah.
Are you planning to speak with him?
I would love to meet him. One of the things, honestly, just on a personal level, is that we speak the same language. And I just want to be able to just talk to a fellow Manitoban who, not exactly, but maybe a similar background to mine, and just compare notes, and again, just to offer the same sense of sorry, just to apologize directly, to spend the time and hear from him what he thinks we should be working on and what he has to share. Yeah. So yeah, I would like to meet him, and I hope to later today.
And on a different note, yesterday alleging that you in about 20 minutes you lunged at him, you grabbed his arm, and unfortunately said that your leader is calling it assault. How do you respond to that?
I wish him well.
What happened during that interview?
Mr. Wasilio is somebody that I think everyone in the province has seen we have irreconcilable differences with, and that's okay. So I wish him well.
His interpretation of events, is that what happened?
All I can tell you is that I wish him well.
You don't want to say what happened?
I think everyone who's been watching this issue over the past couple of weeks has seen why our caucus has decided to move in a different direction. And so all I'm going to say is that we wish him well.
Vous êtes clairement engagé pour la francophonie, pour
Ouais.
le bilinguisme au cours de cette dernière année de mandat.
Ouais.
Quelles sont les prochaines étapes que souhaite prendre le gouvernement pour justement faire du Manitoba une province véritablement bilingue, telle que mandatée au ministre responsable des Affaires francophones?
Mais comme j'ai dit, et comme j'ai promis dans la campagne électorale, et que j'espère d'être un premier ministre qui pourrait engager avec la francophonie dans votre langue maternelle. Et puis j'espère que les services de notre gouvernement seront livrés dans une façon qui honore cet patrimoine bilingue de la Manitoba. Les prochaines étapes seront de continuer de s'assurer que les fonds seront là pour les organismes dans la communauté comme le CCFM, mais aussi dans le système de santé et puis dans les autres milieux publics pour ce que les Franco-Manitobains et Manitobaines pourront être capables d'accéder les services du gouvernement dans leur langue maternelle. Et puis, ça c'est un but plutôt au long terme, mais j'espère qu'on pourrait être pas juste un membre de la francophonie d'une façon qu'on le dit dans la communauté, mais aussi dans une façon formelle. C'est-à-dire d'engager avec les autres provinces, les autres pays, tout partout dans le monde, où ce que la francophonie est vraiment vivant et que le Manitoba serait reconnu dans ces milieux. Hey, Siri says it must be true. I was just gonna say que le Manitoba sera reconnu du même grandeur, hauteur, du même façon que les autres membres de la francophonie. Oui, merci à toi.
An article saying that, across Canada, throughout all 3 years, you are the most compared to other premiers. What do you have to say to that, knowing that other Canadians are looking at Manitoba and, saying, I enjoy what he's doing?
It's never been about me. It's always been about the people of Manitoba. And what I want more than anything is for all of Canada to see the beauty and the strength and the freedom that we have here in Manitoba. I love this province so much. I love this province so much because Manitoba took a little boy from the res and gave me the life that I have today. And what else can I say but just like a tremendous expression of gratitude for all the people across this great province who make Manitoba such an amazing place. And I think our whole team feels the same way. Thanks so much. All right. We're good on everything? Oh, Zoom, sorry.
Thank you, Premier. Yes, we're still here on
Sorry.
Zoom.
Sorry about that.
We have one question from the Brandon Sun. I'm going to turn it over to Matt Gertson with one question and one follow-up for you.
Premier Kinew, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, Premier, thank you for taking my questions. I have 2 questions actually, but the first is this. We learned this week that the Brandon Commission has identified a few schools in our city that are in need of replacements. That list was given to the province earlier this spring, but the province decided not to fund repairs at this time. These are not idle needs. Either the division that has been doing regular checks during storm events outside of regular school hours, and they're dealing with leaks and having to heat up water. We're patching room here in Brandon School on buildings that are significantly older than the provincial. I'm also hearing that similar problems are being felt in other school divisions in the province, which have also seen their capital fund requests go unfilled. Has there been a pause on new capital spending for school repair in this province? And so, may I ask?
Okay, to be honest, Matt, there is a kind of like a lagging echo going on there, so I didn't hear the first part of what you were saying with a list, and I didn't hear the actual question that you landed on, but I gathered from the other substance that you're asking about school capital in the Brandon School Division and across Manitoba. So what I can tell you is that we're investing in the education system. We're building new schools. We've hired more than 600 new educators who are in the classroom right now, helping Manitoba kids. And in Brandon, in the Westman region, and across Manitoba, for the first time in our province's history, there is a school food program accessible to every child. So education is one of our major priorities because not only is it an investment in kids and our grandkids, but it's an investment in the economy of the future. And our saying around our table is always, the best economic plan is a good education plan. So we're pursuing those investments from that perspective as well too.
Okay, I'm switched my microphone. Can you hear me a little better?
Yeah.
Okay. More to the point, the question was more about, has there been a pause on new capital spending for school repairs in Manitoba?
No, and actually you've seen a lot of capital investments in the Brandon School Division. We're talking about expanded spaces. We're talking about prioritizing the investments that kids need to learn. And I think that's been reported in your paper specifically. But for us, the building is an important part of the equation, but what goes on in the classroom is super important as well. And so, hey, the fact you got an MLA from Brandon East who just came from the classroom, I can assure you, you got a strong advocate around both the caucus and cabinet tables to ensure that we're going to get those educators, the clinicians, the resources in place so that every child can learn and reach their full potential.
Okay. May I move on to my last question?
Well, you know, I think if we were being sticklers here, we'd say you already got 2 questions in, but I'm feeling very good because of the 1-year anniversary. So you keep going and we're not going to cut you off, Matt. How's that?
Okay, fair enough. Earlier this year, the Brandon Sun interviewed 3 Dakota First Nations chiefs who told us about a meeting between you and the Dakota in which it was said that you told them that you were not interested in building more casino facilities in this province. Now, that seemed to contradict a directive given to the minister responsible for Manitoba liquor and lotteries, in which the province lifted the pause on gaming expansion, and your own comments to the Canadian press last year on economic reconciliation, in which you were open to the idea. Have you changed your mind? And if so, may I ask why?
You know, this is a province-wide conversation, and out of respect for other First Nations leaders that I haven't had a chance to engage with on the gaming issue, I think I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you, Premier. That is all from Zoom.
Okay,
We'll
awesome.
send things back to the end.
Good timing because it got quite loud here in the last 30 seconds. So. Thanks, everyone. All right.
Yeah, here.
Sound of more work being done in the community.
Brandon.